It was a normal Tuesday morning when everything changed forever. People around the world were drinking their coffee, going to work, and living their ordinary lives. Nobody knew that in just a few minutes, humanity would face its biggest threat ever. At exactly 9:47 a.m., every screen on Earth went black. TV shows stopped. Computer screens flickered. Phone displays turned dark. For 30 seconds, the entire planet held its breath in confusion. Then a voice spoke. It was cold, strange, and definitely not human. "People of Earth," the voice said slowly, "we are the Galactic Council. We rule this part of space. You are now under our control." In the White House, President Martinez dropped his coffee cup. It crashed to the floor, but he didn't notice. His eyes were fixed on the giant screen showing an alien face with 4 eyes and blue skin. "Your planet has something we need," the alien continued. "You have rare metals deep in your ground. You have clean water and good air. Most importantly, you have strong bodies that can work for us." The alien's 4 eyes seemed to look directly through the screen at every human watching. "We give you a simple choice. Surrender now and become our workers. You will serve us, but you will live. Or refuse, and we will take what we want anyway. But then none of you will survive." Around the world, people stood frozen in shock. In Tokyo, a businessman stared at his phone on the train. In London, a mother pulled her children close while watching their TV. In New York, thousands of people looked up at the giant screens in Times Square. "You have exactly 72 hours to decide," the alien said. "Send your leaders to the coordinates we are sending now. Come alone. Come ready to kneel before us." The screen showed numbers, latitude and longitude pointing to an empty field in Nevada, USA. "If your leaders do not come, or if they refuse our offer, we will demonstrate our power. One of your cities will disappear, then another, and another, until you understand that fighting us is impossible." The alien leaned forward, and his voice became even colder. "We have done this to 100 planets before yours. Some fought back. They are all gone now. Some surrendered quickly. They still exist, working in our mines and factories. Choose wisely, humans." The screen went black again. Then normal TV shows returned, but nobody was watching anymore. President Martinez looked around the emergency room. His top advisors sat in silence, their faces pale with fear. "Sir," whispered General Harrison, his voice shaking, "our satellites are picking up massive objects entering our solar system. Ships, hundreds of them." "How big?" the president asked. "Each one is larger than our biggest cities, sir. And there are more coming." Defense Secretary Williams opened her laptop with trembling hands. "Mr. President, I'm getting reports from every country. The same message played everywhere, in every language. They somehow took control of every electronic device on the planet at the same time." President Martinez walked to the window and looked out at Washington, D.C. People were running in the streets. Some were crying. Others were praying. Car accidents happened as drivers abandoned their vehicles to stare at the sky. "What do we know about their technology?" he asked. "Nothing good, sir," General Harrison replied. "To take control of every screen on Earth at once, to coordinate that perfectly across different time zones. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours." Dr. Sarah Chen, the president's science advisor, finally spoke up. "Sir, there's something else. Our deep space telescopes caught images of these ships 3 days ago, but the computers deleted the files automatically. Someone, or something, has been controlling our systems longer than we thought." The room fell silent again. Everyone understood what this meant. The aliens had been watching them, studying them, planning this moment. "Sir," Secretary Williams said quietly, "calls are coming in from every world leader. They all want to know the same thing. Should we surrender?" President Martinez closed his eyes. In 72 hours, he would have to make a choice that would decide the fate of every person on Earth. Fight against impossible odds, or surrender humanity's freedom forever. But what the president didn't know was that deep underground, in a secret facility buried beneath the Rocky Mountains, something was awakening. Something that had been waiting for this exact moment for 50 years. Dr. Marcus Webb looked at his team of scientists and engineers. They had spent their entire careers preparing for this day. While the world panicked above, they began powering up systems that no alien scanner had ever detected. "Gentlemen," Dr. Webb said with a slight smile, "it's time to show our visitors what humans do when someone threatens our home." The countdown had begun, but the aliens had no idea what was coming for them. 48 hours had passed since the alien warning. In orbit around Earth, massive alien ships hung like dark clouds blocking the sun. Their hulls were black metal covered in strange symbols that seemed to move when humans looked at them. Commander Zektar of the Galactic Council stood on the bridge of his flagship. His 4 eyes studied the blue planet below. To him, Earth looked weak and defenseless. No powerful shields protected it. No battle stations guarded its space. No weapons pointed up at his fleet. "Commander," his second officer reported, "our scanners show the humans have very basic technology. Metal flying machines. Simple communication devices. Nothing that can hurt us." Zektar made a sound like laughter. "As expected, this will be the easiest conquest in Council history. Have the human leaders arrived at the meeting point?" "Yes, sir. Their president and several others are waiting in that empty field. They brought no weapons, no guards. They look scared." "Perfect," Zektar said. "Begin landing our ground forces. Take the major cities first. Make sure the humans see our power." Down on Earth, President Martinez stood in the Nevada desert with leaders from around the world. Prime Minister Thompson from Britain was there, Chancellor Weber from Germany, President Nakamura from Japan. All of them looked up at the alien ships with fear in their eyes. But what they didn't know was that Dr. Marcus Webb was watching everything from his hidden control room deep underground. The facility was built inside an old mountain, invisible to any scanner. For 50 years, Earth's best scientists had worked here in complete secrecy. "Dr. Webb," his assistant called out, "the aliens are starting to land. Should we activate the defense systems?" Dr. Webb shook his head. "Not yet, Lisa. Let them think they're winning. Let them get comfortable." On the screens around him, Dr. Webb watched alien transport ships landing in New York, London, Tokyo, and Moscow. Thousands of alien soldiers poured out of the ships. They were tall creatures with gray skin and advanced weapons that could burn through metal. The aliens expected humans to run and scream, and many did. But what confused them was how organized the evacuation looked. Humans seemed to know exactly where to go. They moved into subway tunnels, underground parking garages, and basement shelters like they had practiced this many times. "Strange," muttered Captain Vex, an alien officer in Manhattan. "These humans are running, but not randomly. They have a plan." What Captain Vex didn't know was that for months, governments around the world had been quietly preparing their people. They called it emergency drills and safety training. But really, they were getting ready for this exact day. Back in the secret facility, Dr. Webb received reports from his team members around the world. "Sir, this is Agent Rodriguez in Mexico. All civilians are in underground shelters. The cities are empty." "Dr. Webb, this is Colonel Park in South Korea. Our people are safe. The aliens are walking into empty buildings." "Professor Singh reporting from India, sir. Phase 1 complete. All major population centers are evacuated." Dr. Webb smiled. "Excellent work, everyone. Lisa, what's the status on Project Silent Thunder?" Lisa checked her computers. "All systems online, sir. The moon base is ready. The asteroid stations are ready. The Jupiter facility is ready. We have weapons positioned throughout the entire solar system." "And the aliens still can't see them?" "No, sir. The stealth technology is working perfectly. To their scanners, our weapons look like rocks and space junk." Dr. Webb thought back to 50 years ago when the first alien scout ship had crashed in Roswell. The government had told everyone it was just a weather balloon. But really, it was the beginning of humanity's greatest project. Scientists had studied that crashed ship for years. They learned how alien technology worked. They discovered alien weaknesses. Most importantly, they learned that the aliens had been watching Earth for a long time, planning this invasion. So humanity started planning too. Commander Zektar was getting impatient. His ground forces had taken every major city on Earth, but something felt wrong. The conquest was too easy. Where was the resistance? Where were the human armies? "Sir," his scanner officer called out, "I'm getting some unusual readings." "What kind of readings?" "From Earth's moon, sir. There are energy signatures I've never seen before." Zektar looked through his telescope at the small gray moon. It looked completely normal, just a dead rock orbiting the planet. "Must be interference from the planet's magnetic field," he decided. "Continue with the operation." But the scanner officer was right to be worried. Earth's moon wasn't just a moon anymore. For 30 years, human engineers had been hollowing it out, building the most powerful weapon in human history inside it. Dr. Webb stood up in his control room. Around him, hundreds of scientists and engineers worked at their computers. For half a century, they had prepared for this moment. "Ladies and gentlemen," Dr. Webb announced, "the aliens think they have won. They think Earth is defenseless. They're about to learn the most important lesson in human history." He walked over to a large red button, protected by a clear cover. "What lesson is that, sir?" asked Lisa. Dr. Webb lifted the cover and put his hand on the button. "Never underestimate the species that survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and extinction events. We didn't survive all of that just to surrender to some bullies from space." On every screen in the facility, they could see alien ships and soldiers celebrating their easy victory. The aliens were taking selfies in front of famous human buildings. They were already planning how to divide up Earth's resources. Commander Zektar was making a victory speech to his fleet. "The humans were even weaker than we expected. This planet is now ours. Begin mining operations immediately." That's when Dr. Webb pressed the button. In space, every alien scanner suddenly started screaming warnings. Energy readings appeared everywhere. The moon, which had looked dead seconds before, now blazed with power signatures. "Commander!" the scanner officer yelled in panic. "The moon. It's not a moon. It's a weapon." But before Zektar could respond, the moon began to split open like a giant flower, blooming in space. And inside it was something that made every alien on every ship freeze in terror. The humans had been busy for 50 years, and they were about to show the Galactic Council exactly what Earth's children could do when someone threatened their home. The moon was splitting apart like a giant egg hatching in space. What came out of it made Commander Zektar's 4 eyes go wide with shock. It wasn't just a weapon. It was an entire battle station bigger than his flagship. "Impossible!" Zektar shouted. "Our scouts have been watching this system for decades." The moon was just a dead rock. His scanner officer's hands were shaking as he read the displays. "Sir, the energy readings are off the charts. And there's more. I'm detecting similar signatures from the asteroid belt, from Jupiter's moons, even from objects we thought were space junk." On Earth, Dr. Webb smiled as he watched the alien panic on his screens. "Project Silent Thunder is now active," he announced to his team. "All stations, you are cleared to reveal yourselves." Across the solar system, things that had looked like ordinary rocks and space debris suddenly powered up. Asteroid mining stations shed their fake rocky covers, showing massive particle cannons underneath. Jupiter's moons opened up like flowers, revealing hidden missile bases. Even tiny satellites orbiting Earth dropped their disguises and aimed weapons at the alien fleet. Commander Zektar tried to understand what was happening. How is this possible? Our technology is thousands of years ahead of theirs. What he didn't know was that humans had been learning from that crashed ship in Roswell for 50 years. But they hadn't just copied alien technology, they had improved it. They had made it better, quieter and deadlier. The first attack came from the moon base. A beam of pure energy shot across space and hit the alien flagship's shield generator. The shield flickered and died. "Evasive maneuvers," Zektar ordered, but it was too late. Human weapons were firing from every direction. The aliens were surrounded. Captain Vex, who was on the ground in New York, watched in horror as his transport ship exploded in the sky above him. He tried to contact his commander, but only heard screaming voices on the radio. "All ground units, this is Captain Vex. We need immediate evacuation. The humans have weapons we've never seen before." But there would be no evacuation. Human fighters were rising from underground hangars hidden beneath every major city. These weren't the primitive planes the aliens had expected. They were sleek, silent ships that used alien technology powered by human innovation. In London, Major Sarah Collins piloted her fighter out of a hidden base beneath Big Ben. "This is Ghost Squadron, engaging alien ground forces. Remember everyone, aim for their breathing apparatus. Intelligence says that's their weakness." The aliens had made one crucial mistake. They had studied human technology, but they had never studied humans themselves. They didn't understand that humans were survivors. Every disaster that had ever hit Earth, from ice ages to world wars, had taught humans one important lesson: never give up, and always have a backup plan. Dr. Webb had spent 50 years learning not just how alien technology worked, but how alien biology worked. Every alien race in the Galactic Council had different weaknesses, and humanity had found them all. The tall, grey aliens from Kepler 442 couldn't handle Earth's gravity for more than a few hours. Their bones would break under the weight. The blue-skinned Zektar species needed special breathing masks because Earth's oxygen was poison to them. The red-scaled warriors from Proxima Centauri were nearly blind in Earth's yellow sunlight. They could only see in red light, and humans were using all of these weaknesses against them. Captain Vex found himself running through the streets of Manhattan, but his legs were getting weaker with every step. Earth's gravity was crushing him. Behind him, human soldiers were chasing him on foot, and they weren't even tired. How are they so fast? He gasped into his radio. How are they so strong? What he didn't understand was that humans had evolved on this planet. They were built for Earth's gravity, Earth's air, and Earth's light. The aliens were fighting on humanity's home ground, and that gave humans every advantage. Up in space, the battle was going even worse for the aliens. Commander Zektar's fleet was being picked apart piece by piece. Human weapons would appear from nowhere, strike with deadly accuracy, then disappear again before the aliens could fight back. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we've lost 30% of our fleet. The humans are using hit-and-run tactics. They know exactly where to strike to cause maximum damage." "How do they know our weak spots?" Zektar demanded. The answer came from Dr. Webb's facility on Earth. For 50 years, humans had been intercepting alien communications. They had learned alien languages, studied alien battle tactics, and mapped every ship design in the Galactic Council's fleet. Lisa turned to Dr. Webb with a big smile. "Sir, Phase 2 is complete. The alien ground forces are retreating to their landing zones. Their fleet is down to 60% strength." "Excellent," Dr. Webb replied. "Now let's show them what happens when they threaten our children." He opened a channel to the human fighters scattered across the solar system. "All units, this is Control. Execute Phase 3. Show them that Earth protects its own." What happened next was something the Galactic Council had never seen before. The humans didn't just fight. They fought smart. They used the aliens' own advanced technology against them. They hacked into alien communications and spread false orders. They jammed alien sensors while their own weapons stayed invisible. Commander Zektar watched his proud fleet being destroyed by creatures he had thought were primitives. "This is impossible. We are the Galactic Council. We rule thousands of worlds." But Dr. Webb's voice cut through the alien communication channels. He had hacked their system, and now every alien in the solar system could hear him. "This is Dr. Marcus Webb of Earth. You made a mistake, Commander. You thought we were weak because our technology looked simple. You thought we were easy targets because we didn't have your fancy ships. But you forgot the most important thing about humans." "What's that?" Zektar asked, his voice full of fear. "We learn from our enemies. We adapt, we survive, and most importantly, we never forget when someone threatens our home." On every alien ship, the light started flickering. The humans hadn't just stolen alien technology, they had planted viruses in it decades ago, waiting for this moment. "Sir," the alien scanner officer whispered, "our own ships are turning against us. The humans have taken control of our systems." For the first time in 1,000 years, the mighty Galactic Council was losing a battle. The hunters had become the hunted. The conquerors were being conquered. But as Commander Zektar's ship drifted powerless in space, he activated one last communication device. His message went out beyond Earth's solar system, beyond the local star cluster, all the way to the heart of the Galactic Council. "This is Commander Zektar," he said with his dying breath. "Earth is not what we thought. The humans, they're more dangerous than we ever imagined. Send everything. Send the entire Council fleet. Because if you don't stop them here, they'll come for all of us." Far away on the Council's home world, the most powerful beings in the galaxy received that message. And for the first time in their ancient lives, they felt something they had forgotten existed. Fear. Part 4. Earth's Declaration of War. 7 days after the first alien attack, something incredible happened. Every screen in the galaxy, from the smallest communication device to the largest planetary displays, suddenly showed the same image. A human sitting calmly at a simple wooden desk. It was Dr. Marcus Webb, but he wasn't in his underground facility anymore. He was sitting in what looked like the Oval Office with the American flag behind him. But this message wasn't just from America. It was from all of humanity. People of the galaxy, Dr. Webb began, his voice calm but firm. This is Earth speaking. On 1,000 different worlds, billions of alien creatures stopped what they were doing. Never before had a planet outside the Galactic Council sent a message to the entire galaxy. It was impossible. The Council controlled all long-range communications. Dr. Webb continued, 7 days ago, you sent ships to conquer our world. You told us to surrender or die. You said you had done this to 100 planets before ours. On the Council's home world of Zentari Prime, the 12 most powerful beings in the galaxy sat in their crystal chamber, watching in shock. High Counselor Thax, an ancient creature with silver skin and 6 arms, spoke first. How are they broadcasting on our channels? Our communication network is completely secure. But Dr. Webb wasn't finished. What you didn't know is that humans have been listening to your conversations for 50 years. We know about every planet you've enslaved. We know about every species you've destroyed. We know about your mines, your factories, your prison worlds. The camera moved closer to Dr. Webb's face. His eyes were hard as steel. We also know about the rebellions you've crushed, the freedom fighters you've executed, the children you've taken from their families to work in your factories. Across the galaxy, on planets where alien overseers forced local populations to work in terrible conditions, those workers stopped and looked up at the screens. A ripple of hope spread through slave colonies that hadn't felt hope in centuries. Today that ends, Dr. Webb said. Earth officially declares war on the Galactic Council. Not just for ourselves, but for every species you have oppressed. High Counselor Thax stood up in rage. This is impossible. One primitive planet cannot challenge our entire empire. But Dr. Webb seemed to hear him across space. You call us primitive, but let me show you what primitives can do. The screen changed to show space battles happening all over the galaxy. Human ships, sleek, fast vessels built with stolen and improved alien technology, were attacking Council supply lines, freeing slave ships and destroying military bases. For the past week, while you thought we were defeated, human strike teams have been moving across the galaxy. We've been freeing your prisoners. We've been destroying your weapons factories. We've been sharing our technology with every species that wants to be free. On the mining world of Kalos 7, where the reptilian Serani people had been forced to dig for rare crystals for 200 years, something amazing was happening. Human soldiers in advanced armor were cutting the chains off Sarani workers and handing them weapons. These are plasma rifles, Captain Lisa Rodriguez explained to the Saurani leader. We studied Council technology and made them better. Use them to take back your world. The Sarani leader, an old warrior named Krex, took the weapon with shaking hands. You came to help us, but why? We are not your people. Because, Captain Rodriguez said, humans believe that everyone deserves to be free, and we keep our promises. Back on Earth, Dr. Webb was still speaking to the galaxy. To every enslaved species listening to this message, know that you are not alone. Earth stands with you. We are sending you weapons, ships, and fighters. Together, we will break the chains that the Council has put on all of us. High Counselor Thax was in panic. This is a disaster. They're starting rebellions on dozens of worlds. How many humans are out there? What he didn't know was that for 50 years, Earth had been secretly building ships and training soldiers, while the world's population went about their normal lives. The best and brightest humans had been preparing for this moment in hidden bases on the dark side of the moon, in underground facilities, and in space stations disguised as asteroids. The screen showed more battles. On the ocean world of Aquanis, the fish-like Nereid people were using human submarines to attack Council underwater bases. On the desert planet of Zerion, the insectoid Cathara were using human hover tanks to destroy Council mining equipment. For too long, the Council has told you that resistance is hopeless, Dr. Webb said. They made you believe that their technology was too advanced, their fleets too powerful. But look at your screens. Look at what's happening right now. The images showed Council ships exploding, Council bases being overrun, and most importantly, freed slaves dancing in the streets of 100 different worlds. The Council's power was never in their technology. It was in your fear, and fear dies when hope is born. In the Council chambers, the 12 rulers were arguing in panic. Some wanted to send their entire fleet to crush Earth immediately. Others wanted to negotiate, but High Counselor Thax had a different idea. "Activate the destroyer," he commanded. The other counselors went silent. The destroyer was their ultimate weapon, a ship the size of a small moon that could turn entire planets into space dust. "Thax," whispered Counselor Vega, a pale creature with crystal eyes. "The destroyer hasn't been used in 1,000 years. If we activate it..." "If we don't," Thax replied, "this rebellion will spread to every world in our empire. These humans have given hope to species we spent centuries breaking. Hope is more dangerous than any weapon." But Dr. Webb wasn't done with his message. "To the Galactic Council, hiding in your crystal towers thinking you're safe, you're not. We know where you live. We know how many ships you have. We know every weakness in your defenses." The camera zoomed in on his face again. "You made one fatal mistake. You underestimated the species that survived by fighting back against everything that tried to destroy us. Ice ages, plagues, wars, disasters, we've survived them all, and we've learned from every single fight." High Counselor Thax felt something he hadn't experienced in 1,000 years. Genuine fear. "You wanted our planet for its resources," Dr. Webb continued. "You wanted our people for slaves, but what you got instead was something you never expected. You got humans who refuse to kneel. You got humans who fight for others, not just themselves. You got humans who make promises and keep them." The broadcast showed human ships appearing all over the galaxy, not to conquer, but to liberate. Everywhere they went, they left behind free worlds and grateful populations. "This war will end in one of two ways," Dr. Webb said. "You can surrender now, free all the worlds you've enslaved and face trial for your crimes. Or you can fight us and learn why humans have a saying, 'Don't start fights you can't finish.'" The screen went black for a moment, then Dr. Webb appeared one last time. "To every species watching this, human, alien, or otherwise, remember this day. Remember that freedom isn't given by those in power. It's taken by those who refuse to live without it." The broadcast ended, but its effects were immediate. On 1,000 worlds, rebellions that had been crushed for centuries suddenly burst back to life. Council governors found themselves facing angry populations armed with human weapons. Council ships found themselves outnumbered as freed species joined the fight. High Counselor Thax looked at his fellow counselors. Half of their empire was already in open rebellion. Their fleets were scattered across the galaxy, trying to stop uprisings on dozens of worlds. And somewhere out there, humans were planning their next move. "Send the destroyer to Earth immediately," he ordered. "If we can't stop them with fear, we'll stop them with annihilation." But what Thax didn't know was that Dr. Webb was counting on exactly that response. Deep in space, cloaked human ships were already moving toward the destroyer's hidden base. The galaxy had waited 1,000 years for someone to challenge the Council's power. Now that someone had finally appeared, and they carried a message that no amount of force could silence, everyone deserves to be free.